in metal and crude oil prices, largely due to the Ukraine crisis, are moderating. This will allow the RBI some room to calibrate its own path of repo rate hikes in order to minimize the negative impacts. On balance, however, government actions, reforms, and structural changes of recent years have made our economy more resilient with healthier corporate and bank balance sheets and other strengths which will support capex plans and sustain high growth in the medium term. On the year that went by, financial year 2022, yet another extraordinary year. At Accessband, we took the uncertainties that presented in our stride and viewed them as opportunity to redraw the baseline in multiple business segments, gain market share, and make significant progress in the journey of distinctiveness. We focus on three core areas of execution to move forward on our GPS growth. GPS is growth, profitability, and sustainability strategy through deepening a performance-driven culture, strengthening the core, and building for the future. I'll discuss each of these in further detail. Coming to deepening a performance culture, the growth is accelerated across the bank, driven by a culture of high performance and relentless execution. We have lifted the growth trajectory. Your bank's total deposits increased by 18% to 8.22 lakh crores. Low-cost CASA deposits grew to 3.7 lakh crores and constituted 45% of total deposits. Advances increased by 15% to rupees 7.08 lakh crores, largely driven by healthy growth in the SME and retail segment. On credit cards, we're seeing huge customer interest in our proposition. We issued a total of around 2.7 million cards during financial year 2022, and our cards in force base stood at over 9 million, up 26% year on year. We are the second largest merchant acquiring bank in the country, with an installed capacity of over 1 million terminals. We have also built our Burgundy practice franchise to be one of the top brands in wealth management space. Burgundy's overall AUM grew at a strong 25% CAGR in the last 3 years and stood at rupees 2.6 lakh crore as of March 2022. In terms of profitability, our key numbers are the net interest income stands at 33,132 crores, year-on-year growth of 13%. Our fee income starts at 13,001 crores, a year-on-year growth of 22%. Profit after tax stands at 13,025 crores, increasing 98% year-on-year. And our consolidated return on equity improved from 8.28% in financial year 2021 to 13.74% in financial year 2022. So you will agree that we've had a very, in spite of the challenges, a very, very good year for the bank and for everyone. In view of the overall performance of the bank and while retaining capital to support future growth, and that's important, the board has recommended a final dividend of ₹1 per equity share of ₹2 each, subject to approval of members at this AGM. Earlier this week, we reported the first quarter performance of your bank. The business momentum continues and the P&L performance has been strong. The quarterly core operating performance profit increased 17% year on year. Net interest margin expanded 14 basis points year on year. The bank delivered a healthy growth in average deposits and loans. Our profit after tax grew sequentially to rupees 4,125 crores, up 91% year on year. And the consolidated ROE annualized is at 15.66%, up 5.87% year on year. The bank's balance sheet is resilient with amongst the best-in-class asset quality metrics. One of the things that we worked really hard on is fostering a winning mindset within the bank. And there's no better way to measure that than to see what are the awards and recognition the bank has received. Our focus on execution is reflected in multiple external recognitions received by the bank. At the start of the year, the bank was recognized as number 1 on the Greenwich Quality Index, as well as on service excellence for both large corporate banking and middle market banking. We were also awarded the IFR Asian Bank of the Year and India Bond House Award for our breadth of coverage and depth of experience in the Asian investment banking space. On the technology front, we were recognized by International Data Corporation as Asia's best infrastructure modernization program at the 2022 Financial Insights Innovation Awards. I'm also pleased to share that on the sustainability front, we won the Leadership in Social Impact and Leadership in Transparency Awards at the ESG India Leadership Award 2021. In financial year 2022, we were also certified and recognized as one of the top 5 BFSI employers in India by Great Place to Work and received KPMG's Best Bank Talent Award and Workforce Award. You've all been reading about the Citibank deal that we have concluded, and I will give you some updates on that. The acquisition of Citi's consumer banking franchise reflects our desire to win in our focused customer segments. With this acquisition, we will gain access to the large and affluent customer franchise of Citibank, which aligns well with the premiumization strategy. The customers of Citibank will have access to One Access, a full-service financial institution that meets their every need. This acquisition strengthens Access' position to top 3 credit card players in India, while Citi's franchise adds meaningful granular deposits with 81% CASA together with deep corporate salary relationships. Its affluent wealth management franchise is a natural fit for a Burgundy platform and helps accelerate our growth ambitions. Citi customers would continue to avail of all the rewards, privileges, and offers they were previously entitled to during and after transition, and we will ensure that they continue to have superior service levels to customers. Earlier this week, we also received approval from the Competition Commission of India for this acquisition, and we are on track to close this transaction in the last quarter of FY23. In terms of our group entities and subsidiaries, the oversight on bank subsidiary remains an essential element of our One Access strategy, and our subsidiary governance framework ensures alignment of corporate governance principles across group entities. During fiscal 2022, the bank's domestic subsidiaries delivered strong performance with profit after tax of rupees 1,195 crores, up 44% year-on-year. As an institution, we take pride in our governance model built on strong foundational ethics and integrity. Acting on certain pointers, we proactively initiated an investigation by independent external advisors into certain allegations of potential irregularities at Access Asset Management Company. These allegations relate to the conduct of certain personnel of the company. The investigation continues to be in progress, and next steps and implication, if any, will be determined based on the final findings in this matter. Considering the size and scale of operation of the Accessband Group, the impact, if any, is not expected to be material. Access AMC continues to maintain governance standards, including compliance with all legal and regulatory requirements, and has a zero-tolerance policy towards any instance of non-compliance. AMC has been in constant communication with regulatory authorities and has submitted reports of independent investigation firms covering findings of investigators to them. As the investigation progresses, based on the findings, the AMC will take further action as may be necessary, including keeping relevant stakeholders informed in accordance with its obligations. Let me now move on to what we are doing to strengthen the bank. We built a strong balance sheet. Sustainability continues to remain the foundation of the bank's GPS strategy. We have taken concrete actions towards strengthening our policies, processes, and controls. Our legacy asset quality issues are behind us, as the numbers show. The asset quality metrics improved during the financial year with reduction in NPA ratios year on year. As on 31st March 2022, the bank's gross NPA and net NPA levels were 2.82% and 0.73% respectively, considerably lower than previous year levels. Your bank's leverage ratio improved from 72% to 75%, while building significant additional non-NPA provisioning buffers of over 12,000 crores on a cumulative basis. This translated to the standard asset coverage ratio of 1.77%. On a consolidated basis, your bank is well capitalized with a capital adequacy ratio of 18.54% and Tier 1 CAR of 16.34% as on 31st March 2022. While this is happening and we're seeing the progress, we have some organization-wide transformation projects to accelerate our GPS journey. We have a comprehensive set of over 2,200 initiatives across the bank. Our core leadership team is focused on driving 19 top priority initiatives of the bank at the bank, business and functional level. Some of the path-breaking initiatives are elaborated below. At the bank level, we are focused on two distinctiveness initiatives, which we call Sparsh and Bharat Banking. Sparsh defines the aspiration to become India's most customer-obsessed bank. We plan to achieve it by converting customers to promoters through delight across key signature moments, empowering employees to deliver customer obsession in everyday interactions and delivering smart solutions using digital analytics. On Bharat Banking, our objective is to capture the high growth potential in rural and semi-urban markets by bringing all parts of the bank together to deliver comprehensive and customized solutions for this important, relatively underserved market. On the business level, we have three projects. Project Triumph. This is the initiative to improve customer experience via tech enablement and enhanced operating rhythm. This has resulted in higher liability relationships and growth in total relationship value. Project Unnati is underway for multiple retail assets products such as mortgages, auto loans, and personal loans. It aims to improve business outcomes through interventions like generating high-quality leads, technology enablement for underwriting efficiency and better approval rates, and increased direct-to-customer journeys. And Project Zenith is designed to improve market share in cards in force and cards spent by interventions, such as leveraging technology to build process efficiencies, new digital capabilities to drive superlative customer experience across credit card lifecycle. This is a long list, but I wanted to take you through this because it's important that you know the background in which we are accelerating the bank's performance. On the function level initiatives, we have an initiative called Udan. This is a transformation journey that cuts across all aspects of the IT function. This initiative has several benefits such as faster and more efficient delivery of tech projects, improved quality and resilience, and delivering critical business and operational capabilities. Our IT team strength has grown by 75% with over two times increase in technology spends in the last 2 years, with focus on modernizing the core, scaling up the cloud portfolio, and building resilience across our operations. NEO is our initiative to build India's leading digital corporate bank. This project will enable multi-product, multi-channel linkages both internally and with customers, thereby making us the easiest bank to do business with across segments. And finally, Siddhi is a personalized, comprehensive mobile platform aimed at delivering exceptional customer experience through employee empowerment and enablement. It offers a wide range of solutions such as simplified and comprehensive end-to-end journeys, single access to all apps, information, and smart nudges, insights, and actions. As you would notice, dear shareholders, that a lot of our talk is around customers, and it fits in very nicely what we are doing with the Sparsh initiative to really build excellence and obsessiveness with our customers. As we prepare for the future, some of the investments to position our favorably for the future continue. Digital banking has been one of the key pillars of the bank's GPS strategy and has led the bank to be at the forefront of providing cutting-edge digital solutions to its customers. The bank has built strong in-house capabilities over the last 3 years, with over 1,500 people fully dedicated to digital transformation of the bank. The bank also has 350 plus members, in-house engineering team, comprising product management, developers, designers, digital marketing, and specialists, etc. The bank continues to focus on developing full-stack digital foundation using advanced analytics and intelligent automation across business operations. The bank has also set up an agile operating model with DevOps infrastructure, and the new customer proposition development is cloud native. During the year gone by, the bank introduced several digital products, including Buy Now, Pay Later, Merchant Cash Advance, Small Business Digital Lending, credit cards, digital journey for investment products such as digital gold, sovereign gold bonds, etc. We've also adopted a multi-cloud first strategy for our digital banking platform. We've created 3 landing zones, AWS, Azure, and GCP, with over 55 initiatives on cloud, which is one of the highest in this area within the Indian financial services sector. With respect to our geographical reach, during the financial year last year, we added 164 domestic branches to a network strength of 4758 domestic branches and extension counters. The bank's geographical reach now extends to 36 states and union territories, covering 2,702 centers and 676 districts. Around 17% of the bank's branches are in rural areas, of which 76% are in unbanked locations. The bank will continue to steadily expand its branch network. All the focus on business means that we have to give our focus on the corporate social responsibility initiatives also, and the community remains a key stakeholder for us. The bank supports impactful CSR interventions across India on 4 key themes of sustainable livelihoods, education, financial inclusion, and financial literacy and environmental sustainability. During the year, your bank's CSR arm, Accessband Foundation, crossed 1 million households towards its Mission 2 million target by 2025 under sustainable livelihoods. The bank continues to contribute to reducing inequity in education in India. Access Dil Se, one of your bank's flagship CSR programs, is active in Manipur and Assam, and your bank continues to support scholarships for meritorious women pursuing degrees in science and technology. Our financial inclusion and financial literacy interventions reached over 13 lakh participants, primarily women, in 21 states during the year. Under environment, we committed to plant 2 million trees by 2027. Your bank continues to support frontline workers and local authorities, as well as local communities, towards fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. Last year, we started a new initiative. It's not a new initiative, but we started a board committee, what we call Environment, Sustainability and Governance, ESG. And ESG is an important component of the organizational strategy that we put in place. During the year, your bank became the first Indian bank to establish a standalone ESG committee at the board level. Your bank has also announced ambitious ESG commitments that include incremental lending to impact sectors in retail and wholesale banking, proactive ESG risk management, and commitments around diversity, equity, and inclusion. The bank has been on the FTSE 4 Good Index UK for 5 consecutive years, demonstrating strong ESG performance. Finally, I want to once again convey my heartfelt thanks to all our shareholders for their continued trust and confidence in the management of the bank. I would like to thank our employees and the entire management team led by Ahmedabad Chaudhary for their strong commitment towards Axis Bank, taking Axis Bank to greater heights. I also wish to place my deep gratitude to my colleagues on the board for their valuable guidance. On behalf of the entire board, I convey my sincere thanks to our customers, suppliers, auditors, legal advisors, consultants, and the government and various authorities for their continued support and patronage. And last but not the least, I'd like to highlight the dedication and commitment of all our employees for ensuring uninterrupted service to our customers under all circumstances. They truly demonstrated that customers are at the heart of everything that your bank does. Thank you, dear shareholders, and stay safe. I will now come to the next part of our AGM program, and I will request those members who registered themselves as members, to ask their questions. Once your name has been called out by the moderator, kindly confirm your name and proceed with your question. In case on calling out the name of a speaker member, if he or she is not available for any reason, or his or her voice is not audible, then after pausing for a while, the name of the next speaker shall be called out. In order to give all the registered speaker members an opportunity to speak at the meeting, each member is be allocated 2 to 3 minutes, preferably 2, but maximum 3 minutes each. Members are requested to be brief and restrict themselves to matters concerning the notice and the AGM of your bank and avoid repeating questions. I would truly request your cooperation on this. I request members to maintain decorum at the meeting. In the event of any unparliamentary derogatory words used or personal remarks made by any member, their voice will be muted and he or she will not be allowed to speak further during the meeting. Members may also note that in order to avoid repetition, all questions will be answered after all the registered speakers have spoken. I would now request the moderator to unmute the registered speaker members one by one.
Thank you. We will now begin the question and answer session. Request everyone to please be connected while we bring the speaker shareholders online. We invite the first speaker shareholder, SK Limai. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Sir, I am a shareholder for last several years. I mean, right from first IPO of UTI Bank. I have all 3 accounts, savings, demat and trading account with Accessband. And I have a few observations, and then I will tell my personal experience, which was rather unpleasant. Since our time is very low, sir, let me start. Sir, we have a EPS of 42 rupees this year, but the dividend is only 1. Why so thrifty, sir? So then again, so on page 96 of the annual report, we have a provision for other contingencies and especially for probable legal cases, which is 215 crore as against 13 crore only last year. Why such steep increase? Then, sir, the interest paid certificate is a very small document, is a very simple thing which all taxpayers need it. Recently, I had a very hassle-free, hassle experience with it. I had to write, then first the entire statement was sent, and then the file was sent, which was not opening. But then my branch manager helped me, and he sent me a certificate on copy of that scanned copy on WhatsApp, which I could get the print. Then I got a message, as we all get normally, that to relate my experience about my visit to the branch. So that message had only 2 options: whether you visited personally or whether somebody else visited on your behalf. There was no option for phone. I mean, my problem was solved by phone. I wanted to put a word of praise for my branch manager, but I could not do that because the option was not there. So these are my first observations. Now I will come to the real reason why I joined this meeting, and I wanted to ask a very critical. I want to narrate a very unpleasant experience rather. Sir, there was a buyback program of one company. I think I mentioned the name also. Sarda Energy and Minerals. They were buying back shares at the rate of 1500 rupees. The market price at that time was 800. My entitlement was 16. 3rd June, 1st to 15 was the time. 3rd June, I applied for for 31 shares. I offered 31 shares for buyback. it was processed. I got my 31 shares were blocked in my demat account. 27th was the settlement date. When I did not get the money, I started calling and sending mail and everything, trying to contact each and every person. But sir, nothing happened. Finally, I lost. That means a clear 16 into this
Sorry
24,000.
to interrupt. This is the operator here. Just wanted to let you know that you've completed 2 minutes of your time.
Okay, sir. Sir, it was, I lost some 16,000 rupees. So what I suggest is, sir, we are customer centricity is a big thing in our annual report. So what I suggest is we have collected 507 crores from Axis Securities only from fee based. So a fund should be created where people like me, unfortunate people like me, are compensated by that amount. What we have lost. I guess there was a clear loss of 16 to 20,000 rupees for me. It's a big sum for a small investor, though it is peanuts for Axis Bank. So there is not much time, so I cannot. Otherwise, I would have given some quite a thing. Am I okay, sir?
Yes, you're fine, Mr. Devai. We'll come back on this at the end. We will come back on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We now invite the next speaker shareholder, Praful Chavda. Please go ahead. Mr. Praful requests you to kindly unmute your audio and video and go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Chawla, we can hear you.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
चेयरमैन सर, बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स, मेरे साथी शेयरहोल्डर्स, म्यूचुअल मीटिंग में मैं आपका स्वागत करता हूं सर। और फर्स्ट मेरे नए कंपनी सेक्रेटरी पोदार सर को भी वेलकम करता हूं कि इसका पहला मीटिंग है। हैदराबाद में थे, अच्छा पीआरओ रखते थे, तो मैं पूरी उम्मीद करता हूं कि एक्सिस बैंक के शेयरहोल्डर को भी ऐसे ही पीआरओ रखेंगे और अच्छी ट्रीटमेंट देंगे और हर एक प्रॉब्लम का सोल्व कर देंगे। सर, बैंक का मेन प्रॉब्लम हर एक बैंक का एक है, एटीएम मशीन लगाते हैं और वो पार्किंग जगह नहीं रहती है। तो आपने अभी जो भी है बाकी के जो भी एटीएम मशीन लगाए वो पार्किंग की जगह रखे। कार पार्किंग की तो जगह ही नहीं रहती है, ओनली 2-3 रहते हैं, टू व्हीलर रहते हैं। इसके लिए कुछ करना चाहिए। आपकी बैंक के अंदर लोन दिया जाता है तो किस तरह दिया जाता है, यानी कि 5 करोड़ 10 करोड़ या 50 करोड़ का लोन के लिए कितने मेंबर्स एक आपके बोर्ड में बैठते हैं, यानी कि एम्प्लॉय बैठते हैं। यानी कि 5 करोड़ के लोन देने के लिए 5 मेंबर ओके करते हैं, 10 करोड़ के लोन के लिए 5 मेंबर, ऐसा कुछ भी हो, जो लोग लोन पास करते हैं उसको रिकवरी की जिम्मेदारी देना चाहिए। वो लोग भी देखना चाहिए कि लोन किस तरह यूज हो रहा है, लोन लिया है किस लिए और दिया जा रहा है किसके लिए, वो भी देखना चाहिए। और खासतौर पे अभी मोदी जी ने कहे कि 13 तारीख से 15 अगस्त तक हर एक घर पे तिरंगा झंडा लहराना चाहिए। तो अपने बैंक के द्वारा भी हर एक ब्रांच में झंडा लगाए और हर एक एम्प्लॉयज को भी झंडा दीजिए और भी झंडे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कीजिए फ्री ऑफ चार्ज, ताकि हर एक लोग घर में लगा सके। और खासतौर पे एम्प्लॉयज अभी जो आते हैं, कोई 2 व्हीलर में आते हैं, कोई 4 व्हीलर में ऑफिस को आते हैं। तो सर, अभी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गाड़ी का जमाना आ गया है और हर एक गवर्नमेंट भी इसको सब्सिडी दे रही है। तो अपने भी कोई भी ब्रांच में कोई भी एम्प्लॉय इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गाड़ी खरीद रहे तो इसके लिए कंपनी की तरफ से थोड़ी बहुत सब्सिडी देनी चाहिए, ताकि पोल्यूशन कम हो, रोड पे आवाज कम हो और अच्छी तरह पेट्रोल की भी बचत हो। ऐसा मेरा मानना है। धन्यवाद सर।
Thank you, Mr. Chavda.
Thank you. We now invite the next speaker shareholder, Sunil Kumar Modak. Please go ahead. Sunil Kumar, request you to kindly unmute your audio and go ahead, please. While we are checking the connection for Mr. Sunil Kumar, we move on to the next speaker shareholder, Mr. Atish. Please go ahead. So go ahead, please.
Yes. Atish, we can see you and hear you.
manipulate to the every people. The today will be the beneficial for the with work and according to economical. So there is a shareholder is very important for the that economy increase the economical structure. After that, to shareholders, there is also so how to manipulate the uh, all of the things that will be present in the our nature that will be present in that product and that
Mr. Atish, your voice is cracking up. Your voice is cracking up. Can you repeat what you said just now? आपकी आवाज बड़ी क्रैक हो रही है.
While we are checking the connection for Mr. Atish, we move on to the next speaker shareholder, Mr. Santosh Kumar Saraf. Please go ahead.
जी नमस्कार माननीय अध्यक्ष जी मेरी आवाज आ रही सर?
हाँ जी जरूर आ रही है.
हाँ जी माननीय अध्यक्ष जी उपस्थित निदेशक सदस्यगण और मेरे शेयरहोल्डर भाइयों बहनों मैं संतोष कुमार सराफ आप सभी को मैं नमस्कार करता हूं सर. आशा करता हूं आप जितने भी डायरेक्टर हैं जितने भी अधिकारीगण हैं इस समय अच्छे और स्वस्थ होंगे सर. आपकी लीडरशिप में सर मैं क्या कहूं मखीजा साहब बोलने के लिए कुछ नहीं है. इतना अच्छा हमारी बैंक परफॉर्म कर रही है कि जितना कहूं उतना कम है. मैं तो काफी पुराना शेयर होल्डर हूँ. जब मैंने आईपीओ आया था तब से शेयर होल्डर मैंने फिर उसके बाद में 21 रुपए के जब दाम थे यानी 10 रुपए के 21 रुपए जब दाम थे तो मैंने शेयर खरीदे थे. आज इतना अप्रिसिएशन इस बैंक में मिला है क्या कहूंगा. 2100 रुपया का इन्वेस्टमेंट आज मेरा करीबन आपको जाके 3.5 लाख से ऊपर का वैल्यू हो गया सर. और सर आपने डिविडेंड भी अच्छा दिया है और परफॉर्म भी अच्छा. मैं सर एक रिक्वेस्ट बस आपसे राकेश जी मखीजा साहब रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा आपसे कि हमारे यहाँ वुमेन एम्प्लॉयमेंट काफी कम है सर. मेल और फीमेल का रेशियो काफी कम है. इस गैप को कम्प्लीट करने की चेष्टा करिए. मैं समझता हूँ कि वुमेन को एम्पावरमेंट करना काफी अच्छा. देखिए हमारे गवर्नमेंट भी एम्पावरमेंट कर रही है. आज प्रेसिडेंट उन्होंने एक आदिवासी महिला को बनाया सर. सोचिए कभी आशा भी नहीं किए थे. तो इसी तरह हमारी फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर भी सर सुब्रमण्यम जी हैं सीतारमन जी हैं जो काफी अच्छा काम कर रही हैं सर. इसके अलावा सर वुमेन को आपने मौका देखा होगा सर. वुमेन को आपने देखा होगा काफी मतलब खेल कूद में भी काफी आगे हैं और हर काम में आगे. यहाँ तक कि पढ़ाई के अंदर में टॉपर वही होती है. लड़कों से ज्यादा वह टॉपर होती है. तो मैं चाहूंगा उनको मौका दीजिए सर तो अच्छा रहेगा. ये मेरी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है सर. दूसरी रिक्वेस्ट है रेन वाटर अपने जो सिंगल यूज प्लास्टिक है इसके यूज कम से कम अपने ऑफिसों में हो ब्रांचों में हो. इसके लिए आपने क्या कदम उठाए ये भी बताने कष्ट करिएगा सर. एक सर आपने रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के लिए यूज के लिए अपनी क्या स्टेशन क्या बनाया इसके बारे में बताने की चेष्टा करिएगा सर. और सर एक चीज और बताने की चेष्टा करिएगा कि अपने यहाँ जितने भी कर्मचारी और उनकी फैमिली के मैं ये इसलिए कह रहा हूँ सर. पिछले हफ्ते मेरे को कोविड हुआ मैं रिकवर किया हूँ. मैंने 3 डोज ली फिर भी कोविड हुआ. तो मैं चाहूंगा हमारे जितने भी कर्मचारी जितने भी एम्प्लॉई है उनको ये तीसरी डोज गवर्नमेंट जी इसको दिलवा दे कि मैं देखा तीसरी डोज लेने के बाद में अगर कोई इफेक्ट होता है उसका असर बहुत कम होता है और आदमी घबराता भी नहीं. तो हाथ जोड़ से रिक्वेस्ट है सर. लास्ट में सर मखीजा जी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि अगले साल पता नहीं बीसी मीटिंग होगी या फिजिकल मीटिंग होगी या आपको भी नहीं पता. मैं ये कहूंगा अगर फिजिकल मीटिंग होती है मखीजा जी तो आप एक सेशन 10 से 15-20 मिनट का हाइब्रिड सेशन भी रख दीजिएगा उसके साथ में जिससे कि बाहर वाले शेयर अपनी बात कर सकें. ये पॉसिबल है. अभी हमारे कलकत्ते में केसरा में इंडस्ट्री ने कला मंदिर में मीटिंग की थी. उन्होंने फिजिकल के साथ में हाइब्रिड सेशन भी रखा था सर. इसी तरह मैं बंगलोर मीटिंग अटेंड करने जाता था. इन्फोसिस वाले भी क्राइस्ट यूनिवर्सिटी मीटिंग रखते सर उसके साथ में हाइब्रिड रखते थे. अगर ऐसा करेंगे सर तो बाहर वाले शेयर होल्डर आपसे अपनी बात कर सकते. हाँ मैं खत्म कर रहा हूँ मेरे में 1 मिनट रुक जाइए. तो बाहर वाले शेयर होल्डर अपनी बात कर सकेंगे और अपने कर्मचारी और आपके लिए दुआ कर सकेंगे सर. भाई हमें मौका दो. ये अपनी मीटिंग में जरूर विचार करिएगा और आशा करता हूँ इस पर आप जरूर कदम उठाएंगे. जय हिंद जय भारत समय देने के लिए एक बार से आप सभी के जितने भी डायरेक्टर, जितने भी अधिकारी गण, जितने भी हमारे कर्मचारी काम कर रहे हैं, उनके परिवार के लिए भगवान से प्रार्थना करता हूँ, भगवान 2022-23 का जो फाइनेंशियल है सबके लिए वेल्थी, हेल्थी, प्रोस्पेरस और सेफ्टी के साथ बीती। तो जय हिंद जय भारत मक्खी जय समय देने के लिए सब मोबाइल से कर रहे हैं, इसलिए दोनों हाथ जोड़ के नहीं नमस्कार करता हूँ, उसको दोनों हाथ जोड़ना समझ लीजिएगा सर।
Thank you, Sarabji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We now invite the next speaker shareholder, Sivaraman Hariharan. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, good morning to all. Hope I am audible.
Yes,
you are.
please.
Question is, how long the acquisition of Citibank is going to take time? Will it be over by this financial year? And my second question is, will the Citibank is mainly targeting only the high net worth individuals, but being a middle class family, will the bank even after takeover and all the existing customers and retaining all the employees, will it cater to needs of all the customers, not only HNI? These are my only two questions. Thanks to all.
Thank you, Shiramji.
Thank you. We now invite the next speaker shareholder, Rajendra Jamnadas. Please go ahead.
Hello.
So please go ahead. We can hear you.
सर पहला तो मैं मैनेजमेंट टीम और सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट दोनों का आभार मानता हूं सर कि मेरे को हमेशा टाइम पे बैलेंस शीट और नोटिस ईमेल आ जाता है सर। तो और लिंक के लिए भी 2 बार मेरे को फोन आया था सर, तो मैं उसका बहुत धन्यवाद मानता हूं सर। बस अभी तो टाइम हो जाएगा, मैं इतना ही बोलता हूं सर, मेरे को मैनेजमेंट के ऊपर पूरा भरोसा है सर, और सर बहुत ही अच्छा आपने परफॉर्मेंस दिया सर हमारी बैंक में, तो मैनेजमेंट का बहुत धन्यवाद मानता हूं सर। और दूसरा सर मेरे को यही बोलना था कि डिविडेंड तो दिया, अभी पैंडेमिक टाइम चल रहा है सर, वहाँ तो धंधा बिजनेस थोड़ा डाउन है, थोड़ा डिविडेंड ज्यादा डिक्लेयर किया होता तो सर अच्छा होता, फिर भी हम संतुष्ट है सर। और दूसरा एक क्वेश्चन ये था सर कि हम लोग अभी रूरल एरिया में ना थोड़ा मेरे ख्याल से हमारी हाजिरी कम है, तो वो बढ़ाने के लिए हमने क्या एक्शन लिया सर, वो जरा लेंगे वो बताना। और इन्फ्लेशन भी बढ़ रहा है, तो अपना रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट में क्या फर्क पड़ेगा आगे सर, वो जरा बताओ तो अच्छा है। बाकी सब रिजोल्यूशन में पूरा सपोर्ट और हार्दिक शुभेच्छा सर। मैं मीटिंग में उधर भी आना चाहता था, 2-3 तरह तो बाहर रोड आना में ट्रैफिक हो गई थी तो नहीं आ पाया, मगर अभी आगे अच्छा है सर। बाकी सब रिजोल्यूशन में मेरा पूरा सपोर्ट, हार्दिक शुभेच्छा है सर। बस और मैनेजमेंट के ऊपर पूरा भरोसा है सर। खाली एक ही श्लोक की एक ही लिटी बोलता हूँ, एक ही लिटी प्लीज। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शांति रूपे नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। आभार मेरे को बोलने का मौका दिया, आभार। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you, Ji.
Thank you. We now invite the next speaker shareholder, Vikas Takwe. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Hanji, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, very good morning, respected chairman sir, board of directors and my fellow shareholders. Myself Vasudha, I am talking from my husband Mr. Vikas Dakwe. I would like to congratulate our company secretary for sending me the soft copy of the report well in advance, which itself is a clear and transparent. I am the old shareholder from the UTI times. I would like to ask, please look into the matter of unclaimed dividend amount, which itself was hard and fast money of the minority shareholders. Please look into this matter and avoid transferring this amount to IEPF fund. With this, I support all the resolution. Thank you very much and wish the company all the best for coming financial years and wish the company coming all the festivals during the month of Shravan. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you. We now invite the next speaker shareholder, Siva Kumar. Please go ahead. Request you to kindly unmute your audio and go ahead, please. As there is no response from the connection, we now invite the next speaker shareholder who is connected with us on audio, Tejas Shah. Please go ahead, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
You are.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yes, yes, thank you. मैडम मॉडरेटर जी, मेरी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि 3 मिनट पर मुझे टोकिएगा मत. थैंक यू. माननीय चेयरमैन श्री और मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर श्री अमिताभ चौधरी जी और हमारे शेयर होल्डर्स के प्रतिनिधि सभी इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर और उसमें भी खास स्टेक होल्डर ग्रीवेंस कमेटी के चेयरमैन श्री एस विश्वनाथन जी और ऑडिट कमेटी के चेयरमैन श्री गिरीश परांजपे जी. मेरा नाम तेजस शाह है सर. सर, एनुअल रिपोर्ट के अंदर बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स के इंट्रोडक्शन के पेज पर लिखा है कि लीडरशिप विथ गुड गवर्नेंस. पर मेरा मानना है कि हमारे यहाँ लीडरशिप विथ बैड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस. सर, अगर मुझे कंपनी के कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस के लिए रेटिंग देना हो तो मैं 0 रेटिंग दूं, क्योंकि इसके पीछे कई सारे रीजंस हैं सर. जैसे कि लास्ट ईयर की AGM में स्पीकर रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए मैंने सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट और साथ में हमारे माननीय मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर श्री अमिताभ जी को भी पर्सनल ईमेल किए थे, पर फिर भी मेरा नाम रजिस्टर नहीं किया गया सर. इसके पीछे का रीजन मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा है. क्या हमारे मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर सर नहीं चाहते हैं कि एक्टिव शेयर होल्डर्स मीटिंग अटेंड करें और क्वेरीज पूछें? हम शेयर होल्डर्स को ऐसे AGM अटेंड करने के लिए क्यों डिप्राइव किया जा रहा है सर? मैंने कई सारी अच्छे कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस वाली कंपनियों में देखा है कि मीटिंग के अगले दिन ही अगर ईमेल किया है फिर भी वो शेयर होल्डर्स को AGM में बोलने का मौका देते हैं और सुनते हैं उनको. लेकिन हमारी कंपनी में तो इन्वेस्टर को बिल्कुल ही इग्नोर किया जाता है. मैं जो दिखाता है कि हमारा कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस कितना वीक है सर. अमिताभ जी, आप अच्छी सैलरी लेते हैं, हाउस रेंट भी लेते हैं, परक्यूट भी लेते हैं, क्लब फीस भी लेते हैं, आपको सब कुछ लेना है, मगर जब बात शेयर होल्डर्स इन्वेस्टर की आती है तो ना कुछ सुनना है और ना ही कुछ जवाब देना है सर. सर, मैंने कई बार अगली AGMs में रिक्वेस्ट की हुई है कि जब तक मैं अपनी कंपनी का शेयर होल्डर रहूं तब तक मुझे विदाउट रिमाइंडर बैलेंस शीट और सब्सिडरीज बैलेंस शीट की हार्ड कॉपी भेजी जाए. पर मुझे लगता है कि हमारे मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर श्री के गाइडेंस से सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट मुझे मेरे रिमाइंडर के बिना बैलेंस शीट भेजते ही नहीं है सर. हमारे स्टेक होल्डर कमेटी के चेयरमैन श्री विश्वनाथन जी और सभी इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स क्यों हम जैसे शेयर होल्डर को इग्नोर करते हैं, जो सही नहीं है सर. सर, गांधी जी के 3 सिद्धांत हैं. बुरा मत सुनो, बुरा मत देखो, बुरा मत बोलो. जबकि हमारे यहाँ सभी इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स की बात जो मानते हैं कि शेयर होल्डर्स की बात मत सुनो, शेयर होल्डर को मत देखो और शेयर होल्डर्स के लिए कुछ भी मत बोलो, ये सिद्धांत पे चल रहे हैं सर. और मुझे लगता है ये सभी सिद्धांत हमारे मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर ने दिए हैं. स्टेक होल्डर ग्रीवेंस कमेटी के चेयरमैन श्री विश्वनाथन जी और ऑडिट कमेटी के चेयरमैन श्री गिरीश परांजपे सर, मैंने कई समय पहले गुजरात NRI कोप में ह्यूज प्रीमियम के साथ ह्यूज इन्वेस्टमेंट किया गया था, उसके बारे में प्रश्न पूछे गए, इसका जवाब अभी तक मुझे नहीं मिला है और शायद अभी वो इन्वेस्टमेंट 0 ही हो गया होगा.
Operator, you
तो
have
मुझे आपसे
completed the
जानना है
time, sir.
मैडम, मैंने पहले ही आपको बोला था सर मैडम, फिर भी आप नहीं समझ रहे हैं. यही दिक्कत है हमारे यहाँ सर. तो मुझे आपसे जानना है कि इतना बड़ा
If I can interrupt Tejas ji, मतलब कि काफी सारे स्पीकर हैं, आप
बोलिए।
हम आपकी बात सुन रहे हैं तो थोड़ा जल्दी कर दीजिए, दैट्स ऑल द रिक्वेस्ट इज।
सर बहुत ही जल्दी
चलिए, आगे।
करना चाहता हूँ मैं भी, और आप भी थोड़ा शांति से सुनिए सर।
ठीक है, चलिए।
सर तो मैं अभी वो इन्वेस्टमेंट शायद जीरो ही हो गया होगा, तो मुझे आपसे जानना है कि इतना बड़ा इन्वेस्टमेंट क्यों किया गया था, अभी उसका क्या स्टेटस है, और उसको रिकवर करने के लिए हमने क्या क्या स्टेटस लिए, ये डिटेल्स देने को मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है सर। सर और साथ में मुझे टॉप 10 बोरोअर्स ऑफ द बैंक के बाइफर्केशन चाहिए, टॉप 10 एनपीए अकाउंट्स का भी बाइफर्केशन चाहिए, और टॉप 10 कॉर्पोरेट रिस्ट्रक्चर अकाउंट्स का भी बाइफर्केशन चाहिए। सर इस साल की बैलेंस शीट और सब्सिडरी बैलेंस शीट मेरे मेल करने के बाद कल ही मुझे मिली है, तो मेरी बाकी की जो भी क्वेरी है वो मैं आपको राइटिंग में भिजवा लूंगा। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you, Chirisi. We will respond to this.
Thank you. We now invite the next speaker shareholder who's connected with us on audio, Mr. Abhishek J. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are.
Sir, my name is Abhishek, shareholder of the company. My DPID IN 301637. Client ID is 41359155. So first of all, I congratulate the management on the eve of annual general body meeting. The trust all is well with you and your family in this challenging situation. Our company deserves much more respect than the market. Deserves much more respect than the current market cap after completing more than a decade of successful operations, profitability, and becoming one of the strongest bank in our respective segments. I would like to know how our business was being impacted in these past 3 years of this COVID time. The coronavirus and the subsequent lockdowns have left virtually no industry untouched after the COVID. So whether any employees have been sacked, higher salary cut in percentage, if any, I would like to know from you, sir. And whether any salary cut was being taken by the management during the pandemic time, I would like to know from you, sir. And I would request the management to kindly take part in call, quarterly presentation and meeting with global investors on a regular basis. Sir, and myself and my team are running a legal firm in the name and style of Seven Wells Associates in Chennai. So I would request the bank to kindly enroll our firm in the empanelment of the bank, and we will be glad to extend our services. Sir, I made a request last year also, but it was not considered, sir. So kindly look into and consider, sir, and share the details of the concerned person, sir, so that I can share my credentials with them. And there are like any number of NPA in the bank, sir. So what steps and measures have been taken by the bank to recover the same? Because we can see that the NPA is growing, and we cannot see that it is coming down in the years. So what steps, it is understood that during the pandemic time, the NPAs have increased, but what are the proactive steps being taken by the management? I would like to know from you, sir. And nothing much to ask, sir. I wish the bank and the board of directors a great success and prosperity in the coming future. And thank you for giving the opportunity. Thank you very much, sir. Hope to see you in the physical AGM next year.
Thank you, Abhishek.
Thank you. The next speaker shareholder is connected on audio, Mr. Sunil Kumar Modak. Please go ahead.
Good morning, sir. Respected Chairman, Board of Directors, fellow shareholders. My name is Sunil Modak, getting virtual meeting from Kolkata, my residence. Sir, Axis is the third largest private sector bank with 85,500 skilled employees catering customer-friendly services. Being a customer of the bank, whenever I visited the branch, I received a warm welcome by the bank employee being a senior citizen. I congratulate them. Congratulations, sir. Being the 5th consecutive year, you got the prestigious FTSE4 award. A good number of ATMs and good number of branches around in India, with 85,000 skilled employees, the bank is rendering commendable services to the nation. Your operating performance is robust with 98% YOY growth and delivering net profit growth of 44% of YOY. But sir, your EPS 42, but you were giving dividend at the rate of ₹1. You please see this. Out of 25 directors, only 3 women directors. Please try to include more women in the board of directors. Hope we will meet next year with better result. Pray to everyone safe, stay safe. Thank you, sir. With this, I conclude. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Modak ji. Thank you.
Thank you. We now invite the next speaker shareholder, Mr. Salman Sheikh. Please go ahead.
Hello everyone. I am Salman Sheikh. I'm from Andhra Pradesh. Um, Good morning, Access Bank management and my fellow shareholders. So I have been associated with Access Bank since 2015. So I have started my career, and also I started with the Axis Bank with my small as prime say salary account. Since then, I have been associated with Axis Bank, and I have observed there was a diminishing of the service quality, and also some products which need a major improvement, like retail loan book growth, and also in terms of customer service. In these two sections, we need a major growth in this coming financial year. And not only that, and I am looking forward with Axis Bank for the expansion of the branches, and where a customer can go at within the towns or villages where they can be available nearby Axis Bank, instead of going to the remote metro cities or nearby small villages where they can access the bank on the terms. Because recently what I have experienced was digital banking is not up to the mark in the Axis Bank. When I was using in the 2015, it was fine, and I can use my banking system on my fingertips. But recently, I am very rare to find the Axis Bank branches. I am seeing nearby branches are getting closed and merged with the major branches. So I need expansion, not the cost cutting from the Axis Bank. And I am happy to see that Axis Bank is participating in the CSR activities, like educating financial literacy, and also conducting LGBT activities. So I am fine with all the respective features. I need a more expansion on the Axis Bank features in coming days, and I also looking forward how this Citibank acquisition will impact our share price, or else how it gonna expand our business in terms of Axis Bank. So I'm looking forward. I'm keenly looking forward to it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Salmanji.
Thank you so much. This was the last speaker shareholder. Before handing over to the management, I would like to take the names of the speaker shareholders who had registered but did not connect. Sathivel R, Sudeep Kumar Mondal, Ashish Kumar Sahu, Balu, K. Elija Devi, Anil Bhagwan Kodak, Abhishek Nema, Madhav Mahajan, Rachit Jain, Umesh Kavande, Narayana Rao Suresh, Jagannatha Rao, Sagaya Nadar, Sayantan, Kshitij, Hirenbhai Lakhani, Hiren Shah, Usha Kanvire, Raj Gupta, Vijaybhai Joshi, Prince Keshri, Parthnath Shukla, Mr. Srinivasan Rao, Ramesh Gola, Anil Parekh, Pramod Kumar Dahunkar, Aditya Kumar Patel, Anjali Panda, Rajiv Mukherjee, Kushal, Krishnan Iyer, Swapnil Chaurasia, Jaspreet Singh, Dinesh Ingle, Savita Indrajit, Ketan Satape, Aswata Kiran, Mr. Joy, Vikas Singh, Arun Teja Satyanarayana, Aniket Singh, Satyajit Singh, Semanto Saini, Arpit Patel, Rajendra Sheth, Prakash Alwani, Raghunathan V, Tamal Kumar, Chandar Shekhar, Pankaj Kitkule, and Murali Tumbi. We tried reaching out the speaker shareholders, but they were not available. So over to you, management members.
Thank you, Diksha. Since there are no more speaker members, and I want to thank each and every one of you for your comments and feedback. And we're going to respond to some of the questions or all the questions you asked. I'm going to request our MD and CEO, Amitabh Chaudhary, to respond to your queries. Amitabh, over to you.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. I'll pick up the questions one by one and try to cover all the questions. Some of the questions are common, so let me start with Mr. Limye, who was our first shareholder. His first question was around dividend, and the dividend question was asked by a couple of other members. Why have we declared a dividend of ₹1 and not more? Bank has framed a dividend distribution policy, which is in terms of the SEBI obligations 2015. Policy lays down the principles and objectives to be considered and also the regulatory requirements in relation to the declaration of the dividend. Dividend declaration, including interim dividend, is governed by this policy and adherence to regulatory requirements. If you recall, RBI had stopped the banks from declaring dividends during COVID times. In view of our overall performance of the bank and the fact that when the Citibank acquisition goes through, we'll be paying a large chunk of money and it will have an impact on our capital ratios. Keeping that in mind, and that is why to just support future growth, a dividend of ₹1 has been recommended. It made no sense to declare a large dividend and then go back to the market to raise a huge amount of money. And that's why this amount of dividend has been declared. We obviously take into account the feedback coming from the shareholders. Second question by Mr. Livier was on legal provisions. He's absolutely right. There was a one-off large litigation case due to which the provision has been made on a prudent basis. This has resulted in provision in financial year 22 of ₹215 crores versus ₹13 crores in previous financial year. This only makes our balance sheet stronger in case a liability was to fructify in this particular legal case. Mr. Limay also had questions on interest, paid certificate, some feedback on the feedback form itself, where there were some limitations in terms of how he could give the feedback. And he also asked questions on Sharda Chemicals. As far as interest paid certificate and Access Securities is concerned, thank you for your feedback. We will improve our processes. On Access Securities, we'll have a look in the matter and we'll ensure that the team comes back to you. I know you have mentioned that you lost 16,000 rupees in the process. As far as feedback on the feedback form itself is concerned, again, we take it on board and will ensure that we make the changes necessary as we move forward. Next set of questions came from Mr. Praful Chawda. He talked about ATM parking and also asked questions on who sanctions the loans and do they have targets around loan recovery. As for the ATM parking is concerned, we do take your suggestions on board. Sometimes it becomes very difficult because when you're trying to place the ATM machine, where it is actually needed, sometimes parking is not available, but we will take that on board. As far as loan sanctioning process is concerned, we have various committees in the bank which have powers depending on whether it's a retail side of the business or the wholesale side of the business. And based on those powers, the committee can sanction loans. And the final adjudicating authority for the bank is an independent member of the board itself, which is COD, headed by our director, Mr. Vishwanathan. Please understand and appreciate that the management team, starting from me, have very clear targets in terms of what kind of slippages, what kind of NPLs we can have as a bank. In cases where we see early mortality or where we see that bank did not look at all the aspects of the case before sanctioning, there are accountability matrices which have also been established. And if we feel that there has been negligence, then suitable action is also taken with that regard. As I said, these committees also, we keep, depending on our experience, keep changing the powers and keep changing the constitution of those committees. But all the committees require presence of our credit members, and they are the ones who have to be in majority and sign off on it. Mr. Santosh Saraf had questions on women employment ratio. Today, 25% of our staff are women. up from 24% in 2019-20. We are an equal opportunities employer. We have committed as part of our ESG requirements to take this number to 30% by financial year 2027. While this might look like a 5% change, the pace at which we are hiring incremental employees in terms of the number of women we have to hire to meet this 5% increase in overall women employment is a very, very large number. And by the way, the board is monitoring some of these commitments. Mr. Saraf had some feedback on physical or a hybrid meeting. We obviously hope to do a physical meeting as and when we can, and if hybrid meeting is permitted by law and if we can do it, we'll be very happy to obviously create that platform for our shareholders to join remotely also. Mr. Hariharan had a question on Citibank acquisition. We expect the transaction to close in the fourth quarter of this financial year, that is Jan to March 2023. With the full integration of the Citibank assets, liabilities, technology especially, will take another 18 to 24 months. You might be aware that we received the key approval last week from Competition Commission of India. So that is one important step which we have crossed. Now our ability to interact with Citi, get more data from them, and also ensure that we can increase the pace of our legal date 1, which is Jan to March quarter next year, should hopefully come through pretty quickly. He also asked a question on will this acquisition lead to the bank focusing only on affluent segment and maybe not looking at the other segment. Sir, please understand and appreciate that Axis Bank is a full service bank catering to all sections of the society, including the poorest of the poor. So from our perspective, while Citibank adds a certain key strengths to us in premising the franchise, for us, the key to the core part of the franchise is the middle class of India. We are also aware, our chairman talked about the fact that we are launched a key initiative called Bharat Bank, which also is basically bringing the focus to the rural and the semi-urban markets of India. So our focus is to cater to every Indian citizen across the country, in every part of the country. So that is not going to go away post the Citibank acquisition. Mr. Rajendra Damnadas had a question on dividend. I have already answered that question. He asked about Bharat Banking. 17% of our branches are in rural areas. Under the Bharat Bank umbrella, we have about 2,100 branches. 30% of our branches are in the semi-urban areas. The reason we have launched Bharat Bank is because we believe that it's a huge opportunity for the bank. We can, when we talk about Bharat Bank, it is not just talking about it. We have formed a separate vertical which will cater to the retail and the institutional customers in the semi-urban and the rural markets. We are moving from a product to a customer-centric view and building a distinctive model to provide a best-in-class product, services, and advisories in a seamless digital manner to this section of the society and to this part of India. Mr. Vikas also had a question on unclaimed dividend. So we are just very quickly briefing you on what are we trying to do on the unclaimed dividend side. The bank has sent reminder letters to all the shareholders whose unclaimed dividend shares is liable to be transferred to IEPF authority. The bank is evaluating several contact programs through which it can reach out to shareholders whose dividends are unclaimed. The bank is required to transfer amounts per extant regulations. We take your feedback on board and we'll try to obviously continue to push that. Mr. Tejal Shah had issues on corporate governance. Sir, आपने हिंदी में हमसे बात की. पहली बात तो sorry for the experience which you had to go through, but हमारा यहाँ कोई intention नहीं है कि हम आपको किसी भी एंगल से या किसी भी हाल में प्रिवेंट करें कि आप शेयर होल्डर मीटिंग में आके हमसे बात कर सकें. आज आप इस शेयर होल्डर मीटिंग में हमारे सामने आए हैं और आपको जो भी बोलना था आपने हमारे साथ शेयर किया है. जहाँ तक कि फिजिकल कॉपी का सवाल है, हमने आपके साथ लास्ट वीक शेयर की है. अगर आपको अभी भी लगता है कि हमारे कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस स्टैंडर्ड में हम आपकी बातें नहीं सुन रहे हैं, हम अगेन हमारा कंपनी सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट आपसे फिर अप्रोच करेगा और देखेगा कि कैसे उसको सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. आपने कुछ स्पेसिफिक डेटा भी हमसे मांगा है, वो डेटा हम आपसे जरूर शेयर करेंगे. जहां तक लास्ट ईयर के रजिस्ट्रेशन का सवाल था, शायद आप जब आप रजिस्ट्रेशन तब कराने आए जब विंडो बंद हो चुका था. ये एक पर्टिकुलर प्रोसेस है और हम आपको कोऑर्डिनेट नहीं कर पाए, बट तभी भी हम आपका फीडबैक ऑन बोर्ड लेते हैं और आगे से कोशिश करेंगे कि अगर आपने डेडलाइन भी मिस कर दी है कि किसी तरह से हम आपको कैसे ऑन बोर्ड कर सकें. अगर आपको रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग का डेटा आपने मांगा है, वो डिटेल्स ऑफ आउटस्टैंडिंग रिस्ट्रक्चर्ड बुक आर एक्चुअली डिस्क्लोज्ड ऑन pages 209 and 211 of the annual report. आपको ये जान के खुशी होगी कि बैंक has one of the lowest restructuring books in the industry. आज जहाँ तक NPA का सवाल है, details of top NPAs cannot be disclosed due to confidentiality. Or asset quality metrics of the bank have been improving year on year, both in absolute terms as well as percentage terms. हमारे चेयरमैन साहब ने अपनी स्पीच में भी कहा कि आज एक्सिस बैंक के जो एसेट क्वालिटी मेट्रिक्स हैं वो बेस्ट इन क्लास हैं. अगर आपको थोड़ा और जानना है तो हमारे vulnerable pool of corporate loans has declined significantly over the years. At the end of Q1 financial year 17, the vulnerable corporate loan book was 7.3% of gross customer assets, which has now shrunk to 0.75% of gross customer assets. तो आप खुद ही देख सकते हैं कि हमारी जो vulnerable book है उसका size काफी कम हो गया है. जहां तक gross NPA ratio है, that has declined from 2.82% as on March 31, 2022 from 3.7% as on March 2021, and the net NPA ratio has also declined from 0.73% as on March 31, 2022 from 1.05% to from 1.05 as of March 2021. So sir, अगर आपको और भी data चाहिए, obviously हम will be more than happy to share. आपने पूछा कि हमने क्या steps लिए हैं NPA को minimize करने के लिए, तो हम we continue to review our underwriting policies and processes to ensure origination level checks are duly implemented to onboard good quality borrowers. This includes use of rating models and scorecard based filters, applying a borrow quick scan to review external and internal data sources, including detailed due diligence. Secondly, these policies and processes are tightened and recalibrated in line with our experience. Thirdly, the bank monitors the performance of the borrowers through a mix of internal and external resources, sources, and also alerts for potential weakening. And finally, bank has specialized collections and resolution teams in retail as well as wholesale banking. So obviously our focus to ensure that we can recover as much as possible. Salman Sheikh ji ने पूछा था कि how many employees were sacked during COVID? Nil. आपने ये भी पूछा था कि बैंक ने क्या हिट लिया. आपको याद होगा कि जब COVID crisis hit us, we postponed the salary hikes for the bank in general. As far as the senior management team was concerned, the senior management team did not take any variable pay for that year. We have obviously restored our increments in financial year 22, because I think it was important that we support our employees also through that process. तो वो काम चल रहा है, but the senior management did take a hit and we ensured that the junior do not junior employees do not suffer in any way whatsoever. Sunil Modak ji ne talked about increasing the number of women directors. We note the suggestion. Right now we have 25% of our directors are women. Board is committed on board diversity policy. We recognize the importance of a diverse board and are deeply appreciative of the commitment and the kind of suggestions that you're making in the shareholder meeting. We'll take that on board. Someone asked us about the impact of Subsidies acquisition on share price and the bank. We see this acquisition as a very healthy strategic fit. We will gain access to a large, affluent customer franchise of Citibank, which will align well with our premiumization strategy. This acquisition will make us a top 3 credit card player in India. It will make us a top 2 wealth management player in India. It will have a meaningful addition to our granular deposits with 81% CASA. There are significant potential cost and revenue synergies, and obviously the bank employees come with deep domain expertise, which will continue to augment our workforce. I think someone talked about branches getting closed. Sir, there are no branches which have been closed. There were 166 branches which are opened in financial year 22. हो सकता है कि the branch which was next to you was closed because maybe the lease on the branch expired, or we expanded to a bigger branch, or we found a better branch with better approach for our customers, which is obviously a constant endeavor for all of us. So again, if you have some specific suggestions or you feel that in some specific area we have reduced our presence, we'll be very happy to know and note it, and obviously ensure that you do not have that impression. We intend to continue to open branches this year, and you will hear more about it as we keep opening them in our quarterly webcast. I think with this, almost all the questions which are asked have been answered. So, Salman ji, you also talked about deterioration of service quality. I will ensure that someone reaches out to you and covers that particular point with you. Mr. Abhishek Jain talked about empanelment. Again, I will ensure that we reach out to you again and understand, why exactly there has been no movement in that in the last 1 year. So we will take care of that as we move forward. Otherwise, I think all the questions, Chairman Sir, which have been asked have been answered.
Thank you, Amitabh. Thank you for responding to the questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you would observe from what we've declared, what we've talked about in the last 2 hours, we are very encouraged by the improvement of the performance of the bank. We think we're on the right path. I think we have a lot of good initiatives running. And I am very, very personally pleased at the focus and commitment of the management team. I'm very happy that you are our shareholders, and I thank you for all your participation. And with this, I announce the conclusion of 28th AGM of Accessband Limited. Please note that the e-voting will remain open for the next 15 minutes. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.